Why India will never be the next China. While India and China share similarities, several differences exist between them. This video will explain why India is unlikely to achieve the same level of success as China. Before we look into these differences, let's take a look at the current situation in India.
Significant milestone for the Indian economy, viewers. The GDP of the country has reached $3.75 trillion from around $2 trillion in 2014.
For years now, India has been touted as the next economic powerhouse in Asia. It is the world's seventh largest country by area and the second most populous country with a rapidly developing financial. Investors and academics alike have been speculating about the potential of India to advance into the next China. It is predicted that India's inhabitants will exceed China's in the coming years, which remains the world's largest. India is known for its food, a blend of different spices, flavors, and cooking methods. India is also known for its music and dance. In terms of clothing, India has a colorful and vibrant array of fabrics and designs. The traditional attire of India includes saris, lengas, kurtis, and dhotis, which are worn by both men and women on different occasions. India is also known for its rich history and heritage monuments. Some of the most famous heritage sites in India include the Taj Mahal, Red Fort, Qutub Minar, and Konark Sun Temple, to mention a few. These monuments reflect India's rich history and architecture, attracting millions of tourists annually. India is known for its culture and history and has a vibrant and robust economy. Over the past few decades, India has witnessed remarkable economic growth, becoming the world's fifth largest economy. Its GDP is contemplated to grow at an average of 6.9% in 2022 per predictions made by the International Monetary Fund, IMF. One sector that has witnessed significant development in India is its IT and software development. India has become the hub for software development and IT services, providing the world with innovative solutions to complex problems. It is also home to some of the world's most prominent IT companies, including Wipro, Infosys, and TCS. Despite these strengths, India has a long way to keep pace with China's economic development. It is lagging in many key economic indicators, and it may not grow into the new China. So, the question is, what are the reasons why India cannot be the new China? First, let's look at the manufacturing sector of both countries. China's production sector is one of the most significant factors contributing to its economic success. Over time, China has forged a robust manufacturing sector, from low-end products like toys to high-end machinery, electronics, and even cars. China's strong manufacturing base has helped it become the world's largest exporter. Manufacturing currently accounts for 27.44% of China's GDP.
China's exports plunged 7.5% year-on-year in May, according to the country's Customs Bureau. That's the biggest fall since January.
In contrast, manufacturing only accounts for 13.98% of India's GDP. With initiatives like Make in India, India has been trying to boost its production sector but is facing challenges. India has struggled to improve its production sector, with a large percentage of its workforce still employed in the agricultural industry. Moreover, India's lack of fabrication success is compounded by its low skill levels. Most of India's labor force is employed in low-skilled industries, such as farming or construction, with only a fraction involved in higher-skilled service sectors. In contrast, China's services sector employs fewer workers than the manufacturing sector, which is responsible for driving growth in the country. Although the Indian administration has taken steps to encourage manufacturing, it has yet to achieve the same level of success as China. The second reason India will never be the next China is the lack of a strategic policy framework that aims at rapid economic growth. China's success can be attributed to its single-minded focus on rapid economic growth in the last few decades. This focus created a vibrant manufacturing sector, the world's most significant construction industry, and a robust tech industry. China's economic success has led to a significant increase in its global influence, and it is now the second largest economy in the world. Meanwhile, despite being the world's fastest-growing major economy, India remains far behind China's economic growth and global influence. India's policy framework has not been able to match China's scale or pace of national objectives in the long term. The third factor as to why India will never be the next China is the limited investment in infrastructure. You see, for a country to achieve economic success, it is important to have a solid infrastructure foundation. This is the same as being financially independent. It would be best if you had a solid financial building. Now, India's public infrastructure is poor, and it has not kept pace with its expanding population and needs. Some of the infrastructure shortcomings include poor road networks, inadequate public transportation, and limited access to electricity. India's infrastructure has been underdeveloped for a long time, affecting its ability to grow its economy. On the other side, China has invested heavily in infrastructure over the past few decades, building some of the world's most extensive and most efficient high-speed train lines, airports, and ports, as well as manufacturing power that has been the envy of the globe. These investments have been crucial in attracting foreign investment and facilitating economic growth. The fourth factor that India will never be the next China is India's political structure is vastly different from China's. China has a strong central government that can make decisions quickly, while India operates under a federal structure. This means that decision-making power is dispersed across several different federal governments. Therefore, bureaucratic procedures often slow down implementation. China's government owns and controls many of its most prominent companies, giving it significant influence and control over its direction, allowing China to push for investment in strategic areas. Conversely, India has a more laissez-faire approach to business. With few state-owned enterprises, private companies play a crucial role in the country's economy. But this also makes it difficult for the government to have as much control over the direction in which these businesses grow and develop. Furthermore, the Constitution of India enshrines several aspects where regional autonomy is provided. This often translates into a lack of coordination between different levels of government and block decisions across regions. The political structure of India also contributes to the problem of corruption. Bureaucracy and red tape are major issues in India, making it challenging to get anything done without resorting to bribes. Another key issue why India will never be the next China is that India is currently grappling with its incredible wealth disparity. According to a survey, India is among the top 10 most unequal economies globally. India's lack of universal healthcare, inadequate education systems, and rampant societal discrimination exacerbate the wealth gap. China, on the other hand, has a more conformist society and a more merit-based approach to success. The Chinese government has invested heavily in education and healthcare services to ensure an equal footing for all citizens. This equality means that everyone has access to the same opportunities. The sixth reason why India will never be the next China is China's head start. You see, China began its economic reform in 1978, almost a decade before India began liberalizing its economy in 1991. This head start allowed China to establish itself as the world's manufacturing hub and build a strong export-oriented economy. China's GDP growth rate has consistently averaged 10% over the past decade, while India's GDP growth rate has been hovering around 5.9%. India's internal unrest and regional differences are also significant issues that will make it not the next China. One of the most significant causes of unrest is large population groups' political, economic, and social marginalization. Besides, the conflicts over land, water, and natural resources in some regions of India have led to significant disruptions and raised security issues. The insurgency in the northeast region, the Maoist revolt in central and eastern India, the separatist movement in Jammu and Kashmir, and protest activities elsewhere have disrupted India. These factors can harm India's unity and deter investors looking to invest in India's economy. This unrest leads to a lack of investment and disruption for companies operating in India. This is a significant obstacle to economic progress and will continue until resolved. Finally, India's research and development (R&D) investments lag behind those of China. China's recent growth and development have been fueled by its investment in R&D. The Chinese government has consistently invested in developing its innovation capacity, fostering international collaboration, and improving its educational system. This has resulted in a growing number of patents, high-quality scientific publications, and world-class tech industries in China. India faces several roadblocks in developing its R&D capacity. There is an acute shortage of R&D funds for science and technology in India, and the country's regulatory framework often stifles innovation by making it challenging to bring new products to market. The lack of significant public and private investments in R&D has resulted in a lack of innovation capacities. However, India's growth trajectory is still impressive, and there are things that India can do to boost its economy and attract more foreign direct investment, FDI. Firstly, India needs to focus on expanding its infrastructure. India has a vast and diverse population, and its physical infrastructure must be developed equally rapidly. The country's transportation network is one area that is in dire need of improvements. India's roads are often in poor condition, and congestion in many cities halts productivity. The country's ports and airports are also underdeveloped, a significant setback for foreign investors and the Indian economy. To attract international investors, India must develop its infrastructure. The government needs to focus on deriving public-private partnerships, attracting private investments, restructuring pricing mechanisms, incentivizing competition in the market, and reforming the legal and regulatory framework to facilitate infrastructure development. Secondly, India can focus on improving the quality of education, particularly in STEM fields, and foster innovation and entrepreneurship. In the 21st century, India needs to be globally competitive. STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, are essential for economic growth. Robotics, artificial intelligence, and nanotechnology have the potential to make India a worldwide leader and provide several advantages. India can create a talent pool that can compete with other countries in science, engineering, and technology by concentrating on STEM education. Developing skills in demand in the global market will provide employment opportunities for the country's youth. STEM and financial education can help students acquire the skills and knowledge required for high-demand jobs. If you want to take your financial education to the next level, subscribe to my channel. The government and private sector can work together to establish research and innovation centers and provide incentives for startups and entrepreneurs. Without this development, India's economic extension will continue to be hindered. Thirdly, India needs to simplify business regulations, reduce bureaucracy, and eliminate red tape, making it easier and less time-consuming for companies to start and run businesses in India. India can simplify labor laws and reduce labor-related costs, making it easier and more affordable for companies to hire workers. This, in turn, will help to create a pro-business environment and encourage more foreign investment. India can also establish more special economic zones, SEZs, offering investors attractive tax incentives and streamlined regulatory policies to set up businesses in India. China has created many SEZs that have helped lure foreign investment, and India can do the same. Finally, India can continue to invest in digital infrastructure and encourage the adoption of technology, particularly in the SME sector. This can help improve efficiency and productivity and make it easier for businesses to conduct e-commerce and expand internationally. By implementing these measures, India can enhance its competitiveness and attract more foreign investment, opening new revenue streams and building a more vibrant economy. India may not be the upcoming China, but it has tremendous potential as an economic superpower in its own right. You've gained some valuable insights into the economy of different countries today, but the learning doesn't stop here. Click on the next video.